and welcome back to my channel. My name is Arena. If you are new here, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy my content. And if you're already a subscriber, then thank you for coming back to my video and I hope you enjoy once again. The reason why I'm doing this video is because I've just done this process again and now we're in 2022. I find it so freeing when I've focused myself and I know exactly what I'm moving towards and what I'm looking for. So for example, in my job specifically, this is something that I have implemented with such great success. And so I decided to take this into my personal life, into my everyday life. And it's the act of basically just deciding what this year is going to be about for me. For example, I work in sales. So one of the areas that I have to be good at is setting myself targets and watching how those are going and knowing what I'm moving towards. And even though to some people that can seem quite an intense process, to me, I just find it focuses me. So when I have clear outcomes that I'm trying to achieve, then it takes a lot of pressure off me, so that I'm not pulling myself in a million directions that actually aren't going to get me to my goal outcome. So for example, let's say my goal for this year is to meet someone that I can have a meaningful relationship with. Well, that's quite a broad outcome. So, I might think I want this relationship and I might end up then giving my time to someone who perhaps isn't particularly thoughtful or is always trying to change me, or just I might end up giving my time to someone that's completely wrong for me. So to break that down, I might say to myself, I would love to be in a meaningful relationship with someone who is kind, caring, and romantic. So setting things up in a way where you can break it down into little things that matter to you the most, I feel helps me assess things a lot better going into the new year. I also feel it cuts out a lot of stressful decisions that otherwise I might be making on a micro level. So for example, I might just allow someone to be disrespectful one time and say to myself, you know what, that's fair enough. But then if I go on doing it a second time and a third time and I'm not refocusing on what it is that I truly expect from the person I'm with, then I'm just going to allow this whole year, let's say, to be a waste of my emotional investment. But if I know one of the main things that I'm looking for in a person is respect or thoughtfulness or generosity or whatever it might be that matters to you, then I'll know and I'll have a better way of assessing the people that I'm inviting into my space. And this applies to everything. So it could be your career. Perhaps you want to achieve certain goals in your job. Let's say you need to make a certain income. Let's say you've got a big saving goal. Let's say you want to go on a trip. Let's say you want to save up enough to buy yourself a new apartment or house. So if you have a goal in mind, then it means you can work backwards, and it means that most of the decisions that you make are then going to be kept on track. So for example, if you're trying to save money to perhaps put a deposit down for a house, if you know that that's your ultimate goal, and then you've got to make little decisions like, should I go out and see these people and spend a fortune on a night out, or should I buy this luxury item, even though that may mean I'm not going on this dream holiday. So it just helps you make a decision much easier. You obviously would say no to the luxury item if you are focused on your ultimate goal. You obviously would cut down the amount of times that you go out and spend money if you are focusing on your ultimate goal. But if you're not really sure where you're heading, you're going to probably make small decisions that are going to take you further away from the thing that you perhaps want most. So for me, I like to start the year with deciding what my ultimate goals and priorities are going to be for the year. And I also like to break this into areas of my life. So whether it's relationships, whether it's my career, whether it's my friendships, whether it's my family, whether it's my health, whether it's my fitness. You know, you can decide what your priorities are going to be in different areas of life. Now, one of the things I'll say is make sure you don't overwhelm yourself with too many things. So for me, specifically this year, I've decided to really set 3 goals that I really want to make sure I stay focused on. I'm quite a big believer that if you set too many goals, you are going to end up overwhelmed. So for me, number 3 works really well. So I focused on certain areas of my life. I don't know if you've seen this tool, but there is a wheel kind of thing that you can use to rate the areas of your life and where you feel they're most where you feel you're most successful and where you feel that you may need some improvement still. So I love doing this, and in fact what I'll do is I'll put in the link in this in the description of this video. I'll put a link to a template that you can use to kind of do a bit of an assessment on different areas of your life. And then once you see, you know, what you're most happy with, what you perhaps aren't as happy with, then you can decide which areas of your life you might want to put a little bit more focus on this year, let's say. You can also break this down into a monthly exercise, or into a 3 monthly exercise, or into a 6 monthly exercise, however you want to do it. I tend to do it yearly, and I'll decide which area I'd like to improve, and then I will review the areas within a 3-month period and just do a little bit of a reassessment. Again, there is no right or wrong about doing things like this, and it's really a personal choice, but this is something that I've found works really well for me. And another thing that I find really helpful is a vision board. So again, if you've decided what your main goals are going to be, I like to do a nice vision board, and I've got one of those cork boards that you can just pin things on. So I've printed out some pictures, I've stuck them on, and it's just a little reminder for myself when I wake up in the morning and I go to my desk. I have some time to visually reconnect myself with the goals that I've got in mind. It doesn't have to be complex. In fact, when doing a vision board, one of the things I love the most is making it simple. I remember a few years back when I started doing the vision board, I used to put so many things on there, and it was just like crazy. So sometimes when I was looking at the board, my mind would be in every direction, and it didn't necessarily make me refocused. It just sometimes made me think, oh, there's so much going on, and you know, how many of these things am I actually achieving? So it can kind of have a bit of a negative effect if you just overloaded with too many things. So just make sure that the things you put on your vision board are in line with the things that you're trying to achieve for yourself. Again, I'll pop in the link a few references to where you can get a vision board like mine and the kind of general idea to it. I've got these pretty little pins that I put in as well. So it's visually satisfying, and also it just gets me in that mood of how exciting it is that I'm now moving towards this. And just don't forget, don't put too much pressure on yourself, because more often than not, if you stay focused on something, it will work out. It's just gonna happen. And I might have mentioned this in another of my videos, but one of the things I really loved, I remember reading this book called The Compound Effect. For me at the time, it made the biggest difference simply because I don't think I had ever thought about the impact of little things and small steps in the same direction over time. So if you are someone like me who has this big vision and then expects it to happen tomorrow, this book was quite groundbreaking for me. When I read it, I remember thinking, okay, let's just give this a try. And I think I actually realized this in the most simple ways, and it's through, I had a work Instagram account. Well, I still have a work Instagram account, and over the space of a year, I just focused on growing my Instagram following, and it was amazing just how that naturally grew as long as I kept putting in the work and taking the same steps and staying focused. So most things happen over time, and it's important to remind ourselves that, you know, it's not a race, it's a journey. You know, it's something that we should enjoy, it's something that we should should enjoy and savor every moment, because it's all part of the journey itself. And so remind yourself this. Don't feel bad if it doesn't happen overnight. Chances are it's not going to. So whatever goals you put on your vision board, whatever goals you set for yourself, just remind yourself that it takes time for anything to really come into full fruition. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to give me that thumbs up and also subscribe so you do not miss any future videos.